It is a lovely day, and I thought it would be fun to go on a bit of a garden tour today. It is cold though. It's like 50 degrees with the breeze. But check this out. I made a path. Now, when I go down to the garden, I'm not slipping on my bum. I went ahead and I got through all of that mulch, and you would think that I wouldn't be as busy this time of year, but as far as gardening goes, but I am just as busy as I am in the summertime. Maro, did you want to come in here? I need to text Dustin and let him know I'm ready for more mulch, but I lost my phone. I can't find it anywhere in the house. I'm looking for it. I'm hoping someone will either call or text me, and then I'll find it. But my goal is to have all of my beds thick with lots of mulch, so I'm not having to deal with weeds come spring, summer. And I'm also expanding and creating other beds. Come springtime, I want to be ready to rock and roll. It's so much nicer to move mulch when it's cool out. But you see this area here? I've got my arugula along with some dill here. And all my onions are popping up too. Planted 140 of them, I think. They're just sporadically planted throughout the mounds here, mixed in with everything. And I'm finally getting out all my violas, y'all. I have like 200 of them. I have 3 more trays left to do, but I went ahead and decided to do violas over here instead of pansies. They're quite small still, but they'll fill in. And this arugula would have been a lot bigger, except I had a turkey out, and normally the turkeys, they don't mess with my garden. They don't scratch and peck like chickens do. If I have a chicken out in the garden, they can really make a big mess very quickly. But generally, the turkeys don't bother my garden, except they seemed to like this arugula, and they picked at it a little bit. And now it's finally starting to grow back, but it would have been a lot bigger by now if the turkey hadn't eaten some of it. Let's go check in the greenhouse. I've got some seedlings that are starting to pop up. I'm excited about. I'm working on putting out all of my Easter egg radishes. Let me see here. Still got a lot to put out. And then this is the red cell lettuce, which, y'all, this is supposed to be a pretty reddish purple color, but they're green. Look. I'm very confused by this. I see all my romaines coming up too. It's slower. And it's also green. It's supposed to be purple. I don't know, maybe that comes later. But look, these are all my rainbow colors Swiss chard. And they are popping up. Oh, where did they go? Where did it go? I know I saw it earlier. Here's one just barely popping up, you see? That reddish color there? Oh, here we go, here we go, look. Oh look, this one's purple. I'm excited. Now I planted some parsnips too, but they're not popping up yet. I'm a bit impatient. Sometimes I take my little stick here and I poke at the soil and dig it up just a little bit. Just to take a peek to see if they're starting to sprout at all. But, oh, what's this? Look, yes, this is one of my leeks is popping up. I'm excited. Look. That's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be able to fill this garden out really well. You see, we've got all this hairy vetch is just really going right here. Look at this, you guys. The borage, I wasn't sure if this was going to be the blue variety or the white. This ends up being the blue, you see? So pretty. Nice to have a little bit of color in the fall, winter, you know? I had to take my coat off. I don't really need it out here in the sun, y'all. I finally took down all my loofahs and put them in the greenhouse. You see now it's all nice and cleaned up, and I mulched up heavy here with leaves. I've been doing that all last week, going through mowing up all the leaves and putting it down thick in all my beds you see here. I do that heavily during this time of year, and then this all just breaks down, feeding the soil, adding more organic matter. So now all I can see are the plants that I want growing here instead of the weeds. So I've got a mixture of all different things going on here. I've got some carrots randomly popping up, and I mixed in a bunch of violas with everything as well, you see. This is garlic, collards, random carrot, cilantro, more borage that popped up here. I'm not sure what I want to do here where the loofahs were. I might, when my Swiss chard is ready, I'll probably mix some Swiss chard in with something over here. And I've got a cabbage here. This guy. This is one of the brassicas that survived 2 nights of 7-degree weather. Most everything else got wiped out. The hairy vetch in my Austrian winter peas did get stunted, but they came back. But this guy survived, and I've got this one here. That one looks pretty sad still. They did recover, and they did not bolt in the summer. They've just kind of got severely stunted. But as you see, they're coming back, and it's got like 3 heads going on here. I would like to save seeds from this. This is a particularly hardy cabbage here. I see I've got more onions popping up here too, see? This is garlic. I've got my row here of just lots of collard greens, really, here. Got cilantro randomly popping up, and then I put out some violas too. And this hairy vetch is slowly climbing. This phase last year, it was a lot taller. Oh God. This banana spider, y'all. It has gotten me so many times. So close. This banana spider's been on my head twice. I knocked into it. Luckily it was on my hat, not in my hair. That might have freaked me out a little bit more. But yeah, I'm glad I missed that. But you see, it's slowly going. I've still been picking lots of peppers. Just dried a whole bunch the other day and made lots of cayenne powder and paprika powder. Now, I've also been mulching up heavily throughout here in this area. I know I told you about under here, of course, but then I've also got some bald spots that were just mud, and then also some lower sections in my garden here. When I created this garden out here, it's not like I had any big tool to come out here and level everything. So I have dealt with some issues with some flooding and areas that have gotten kind of eroded from extra water. So I have brought out lots of soil from the pond that I've been slowly digging over there and filled in some of these areas. This section has been the worst here, but I'm over moving soil. It's just a lot of work. It's very heavy, so I decided I'm gonna go ahead, and this mulch is so much easier to move. So I put it thick down on all these areas that like to flood and that have a harder time growing a ground cover because of that. So I'm gonna let these guys go. I've got some of this mock strawberry here growing. See, it's growing up here on the beds. I'm going to continue to let that grow. In fact, I've been learning about this particular mock strawberry. It's been taking over quite a bit all over. It originated from Asia, and the reason why it's here in the States is people thought it was beautiful as to use to put into pots, and then it would kind of cascade and hang over. So it used to be an ornamental that people would put in pots, but of course it now is considered very invasive and people like to get rid of it, but not me. I like it. It's a great ground cover. And there's another reason why I really love it. I'll show you that in a bit. Check this out. I went ahead and I planted some carrots throughout to kind of mix in with all of my cabbages and broccolis. You see they're popping up. Broccoli here. I've got some much smaller cabbages. I got these on sale at my local hardware store, so we'll see how they do. And this right here is fennel. Isn't this pretty? Yeah, that's looking good. I've also got some random, I filled in some gaps here with some arugula. And of course I've got my garlic and onions popping out randomly here and there. Oh, this is dill. I love it. Look. I love the smell of dill. That is so good. I have it all over in certain sections, mixed in with stuff. But I went ahead. This is more fennel here. I really like this fennel. So here around the teepee I have the hairy vetch along with some garlic on the edge. And then I went ahead and filled in on the very outer edge with violas. They go all the way around there. I think that will fill in nicely. I went ahead and made some tacos last night, which turned out great, y'all, and I picked some of this cilantro and we put that on top. In fact, I finally am starting to make my own corn tortillas, y'all. And I'm telling you what, it's amazing. Not ever going back to store-bought corn tortillas. They're terrible. But that was fun to have some fresh cilantro for the tacos. You see this arch is gonna be the hairy vetch. And this one's definitely climbing a lot more here, you see? Oh, and check this out, look. Some of the earliest broccoli that I planted is heading up. I'm so excited about this. Looks like we're gonna end up having to pick some more lettuce here too for some salad. If not, I can always pick this here and give it to Cinnamon, Lily's rabbit. But it's filling in real well. I really like this particular mixed green one here. The spinach is kind of taking over. Some type of spinach. I think this is a spinach. It has a very large head, look. I've been dealing with some aphids. I just need to come out here and hose them off. So excited about this celery. I've never done celery before, y'all. Look. Oh, look. It's one of our friends. Must be munching on those aphids. These are my Brussels sprouts. I can see where the Brussels sprouts are going to be coming in, you see. That will be fun. I know Nate's excited to have some Brussels sprouts. This particular row here is where the mock strawberry first started to take over. And if you look at the mounds, this area where the mock strawberry takes over and goes over the mounds really helps with corrosion. And I like that because the one downside of these mounds is that I do have corrosion issues. You know, the mounds will slowly wash away into the walkways. And one of the things that I've been wanting to do is just get lots of those cedar boards that people use for fences, to build fences, and use those cedar boards to go down on each side of my mounds to just as erosion control. But I prefer the look of this mock strawberry. I much would prefer something that is alive, green, living. So it's taking over in many other areas, and I'm just going to kind of play it by ear and we'll see how it goes. The nice thing about it is I can still bury it like I like to do with chicken bedding or leaves, grass clippings, and it will come right up through that again. So I do like how that looks. If you see here, this whole row, I went ahead and cleaned out the chicken coop and put that down heavy here. And I'll be doing that throughout the winter. But through here, I've got a mixture of all different kinds of things. This is broccoli, cabbage, borage, and I also put out some radishes. And I also got some lettuce throughout here. Some of that red sail lettuce that's supposed to be red, but's green. But this row has been filling in nicely since I took quite a bit of the tobacco down. I've left some of it up. In fact, today I need to get the ladder, y'all. I need to go ahead and collect seeds from this particular one here. I've also got carrots popping up throughout here too. This is some spinach I have here as well. I went ahead and mixed in some of that red sail. And I almost think that I'm seeing it turn. Yeah, I'm starting to see it turn colors. Here, see if you can see. Once all these carrots start poking up real nicely, I'll go ahead and mulch everything up real well with leaves. Y'all, I have not dug up these potatoes. I don't know, I'm kind of contemplating at this point. So I see there's green popping up again here. I don't know, I'm contemplating just leaving it at this point and burying it with leaves. This raised bed here was an experiment. When I first created this garden, I was thinking that I eventually would want raised beds. So Nathan and I knocked this thing together to kind of get an idea what it would be like to have raised beds. And I realized quickly that the reality of keeping raised beds filled with soil was just not practical for us. We would have to bring soil in from somewhere else, and I don't want to do that. For one, it's expensive. Two, I've heard horror stories of people doing that, and then even though they buy it from somewhere that says it's organic, sometimes accidents happen, and then there goes your entire crop. It's just not worth it for me. So, but these mounds are very easy for me to keep going, and just by putting down the chicken bedding, leaves, grass clippings, I'm able to maintain them. The only issue I've been having is just the erosion over time. So that's one reason I really like this mock strawberry. And I might also do the cedar borers, but I'm not sure on that yet. So this particular strawberry, it is related to the strawberries that we eat. And the strawberry is edible, but it's just not very tasty. It kind of tastes, let me see, here we go. It's kind of bitter. So yeah, they're not very tasty. But I was learning when I was reading about this that strawberries, blackberries, raspberries are not a berry, even though they're called berry, because they don't produce their own seeds. On your regular strawberry, you have those little seed-like things on the strawberry, but they're not seeds. The way that strawberries and blackberries and raspberries spread is by their little tendrils, kind of like little octopuses. See, this particular strawberry, this is one that we eat. It's called a Sweet Charlie. It's vining out, you see, and then this creates another root system. That's how they reproduce, that's how they spread. They don't have a seed like blueberries do, elderberries. But I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't realize that strawberries aren't technically a real berry. They're in the rose family, believe it or not. It's about time, y'all, for me to go ahead and overwinter these peppers. I think my nose is turning red. I feel warmer everywhere else except my nose. This Australian winter pea is going. So each arch I have each one of these arches here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 5 of them down this row. I've either got hairy vetch growing or Austrian winter peas, which is this one right here. And early spring, we'll start getting some peas off of those, and they taste very much like a sugar snap pea. And this one here, this is where the gourd was. In this, Austrian winter pea got a little stunted because it wasn't getting enough sun. But it's recovering finally, coming up. I wonder when this borage is going to start throwing out some flowers. This one should be the white one. This is where the white one was. I think it's really fun that borage can handle frost temperatures. I didn't know that until last year. I had some that were reseeding themselves and popped up. Now it died off in the single-degree weather, but we don't normally get single-digit weather here in North Georgia. It generally gets down into the teens, maybe 15, 14 degrees, and that's about it. Which, all the stuff that I planted out here can handle that. Their growth will slow down for sure, but they'll be alive. In fact, I've struggled quite a bit with my fall garden because I wasn't starting my vegetables that head up, like my broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, early enough. I really need to start that out here in my area in August, latest September. Otherwise, what happens, and what has always happened to me in the past, is I start them when the weather starts cooling down, and when I mean start them, I'm starting them from seed. And they don't have enough time to get to a decent size before it starts really cooling down and their growth slows, and then come springtime, it heats up too quickly, and they don't have enough time to head up before they bolt. Any type of frost-tolerant plant generally will start bolting if you have a consistent 80-degree weather over the course of 2 or 3 days. That's gonna make it want to bolt. So, but this year, I think I'm going to actually get some broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Very excited about that. But I'm going to go grab a ladder, and I'm gonna see if I'm gonna be able to get these seeds down before they all fall, before I lose them all, because I wanted to save the seeds from this Southern Beauty. It's looking pretty sad at this point, but those seeds are still valuable. So, what did I do with my ladder? I'm gonna have to go look for it, and I'll be right back. Okay, I found it. It was on the side of the house. Nathan has been working on putting on some stovepipe for that wood stove. Okay. I don't know, even with this ladder, I'm gonna be tall enough to get up there, you guys. Oh boy. Whew. You know, I'm just gonna cut it right here. I need my other tool to do that. Let's see if I break it. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm gonna put these little seed heads in this baggie here. Now, I'm gonna do a little different. I'm gonna do something different with my tobacco this year. See, these are this little seed heads here. Thousands of seeds in these things. Last year I had a really hard time starting my tobacco. I started all my tomatoes in January, and I'm gonna do that again this year. That worked out well for me. And I want to be able to do the same with the tobacco, but it needs warmer temperatures. So, and I started my tomatoes inside. That's how I was able to get them to sprout. And I tried that with the tobacco, but it was still just not warm enough even in the house. Because tobacco takes forever to mature to the point where you want to harvest it. Because when you harvest it, you want the leaves to be a nice yellow or a very pale green. And that takes a while. So I think I'm going to start them in December, but I'm going to use heating pads, and also I'm going to get some grow lights, and I'll see if I can get them to sprout. I think that's all of them. The rest of them fell, so we'll probably get some volunteer tobacco right here. I think I'm going to get quite a bit of volunteer tobacco. Now I grow tobacco because my husband smokes a pipe, and during the pandemic, all the little nice tobacco shops that he used to go and get good tobacco went out of business. So that's when he was like, you know what, let's try, we live in the South, you know, let's try to grow our own tobacco. Come on, Marl. The other thing I've been doing to feed the soil here is I have been putting down some fish fertilizer. I generally get that at Walmart, but for some reason right now, their garden section is full of Christmas decorations. I'm still gardening over here, but I have to get it online. Right, I've been getting it from Amazon. It's cheaper. They have it at Lowe's and Home Depot, but it's almost $30. It's cheaper to get it on Amazon. But I have been putting that down every few weeks to also give these guys a little boost. I'm gonna go in and warm up. And I plan to continue to do garden tours throughout the fall winter here. I'm not stopping. We still gotta get that Swiss chard out here. And I'm excited to see all those beautiful rainbow colors. Marl, you ready? All right, y'all, take care, and we'll see you next time.